All right, well, we're just throwing the ropes and we're heading to the far north.
Yeah, it's good to see what they're doing. They're not taking big wads of coral. It's good following them around because they're pointing at different corals and not just collecting.
And so I walk to the sun on the window of my car, and I say, walk to the summer on my window.
We're coming in the most beautiful spot on earth, mate. This is my back pool.
Miss you most when the sunlight filters across these empty sheets and days in the sun with the cold on your cheeks.
It's just so good to get down there and see a site that has such good quality corals.
I can feel in my bones.
We have a grant from the National Geographic Society. It's called Coral Status, Science and Solutions. So why do you think we're on this boat? Great Barrier Reef Legacy has this wonderful expedition supporting research scientists for search for solutions.
My mother singing to the sea, say I've been singing to my father, singing to the trees, singing to the things that help us breathe. The days in the sun.
I hadn't seen this. We've been on the outer reefs where things were looking kind of perky and, you know, you had some mortality. I don't know, I don't really even have words. I'm kind of sick. It's like going to a cemetery.
Where we as humans really have to very, very carefully think about how this incredibly complex system works. So this was a frustrating, sad dive.
On my window, and I miss you most when the sunlight filters across.
Good luck, little fella.
Empty sheets and days in the sun and Ben Howard on repeat.
Silver tip. Is it? Yeah, that's a good look. That's a good looking
Everything we
shot.
need, love, I can feel in my bones. Oh, on days like these and days like
All right, we're off for our number 2 dive for today.
days in the sun, nights under the streets, and I'm singing to my mother, singing to the sea. See, I've been singing to my father, singing to the trees, singing to the things that I help.
I made myself a spectroscope, like a prism that splits light into all the colours of the rainbow, to demonstrate the fact that red light is filtered out in deeper water.
See, I've been singing to my father, singing to the trees, singing to the things that help us breathe.
We collected everything we needed, so we're really happy, and now we're going back to Ames with everything we've collected, and the real work is gonna start.
So we've been collecting corals up here in the far north, and we're flying them back to Townsville, back to our laboratories, and then we're going to be breeding from them back there.
This trip alone would have made our meeting worthwhile. We could have been stuck in the middle of a desert and our meeting would have been worthwhile.
I think it's amazing, and this is the real value of collaborative expeditions, and
it is.
And this is what we do on GBR Legacy before breakfast. You get to hang out with people like Charlie Veron, and Charlie's just been walking me through this lifetime of work that he and his colleagues have done, and we're here applying it to the Great Barrier Reef. And what we're doing is we're looking at how all this incredible information, how that can be used to inform reef restoration.
Going down there to work out what species are down there. It's the most diverse site I have ever seen on the Great Barrier Reef. Could be as many as 3 or 4 new species, let alone a whole lot of species that have never been recorded from the Great Barrier Reef before. We have a new species last year and probably 2 others which are new.
Hoping you would stop so I could ask you these simple things like, well, would you love the ocean, and well, could you love the ocean with me?
We've been doing so much snorkeling and diving out here. We've seen an abundance of animals and corals. We've seen a loggerhead turtle, we've seen loads of sharks, we've seen whales, we've seen lots of fish spawning, which is super cool to see. We're also collecting all the data that we see out in the ocean, and we're putting it to the Eye on the Reef app.
Because I'll be yours.
Coral Watch is actually collect data on the reef, so this very simple colour card allows you to go out It's a pre-validated, scientifically proven colour chart. You hold the colours up against the coral, and depending on where you are on this scale, tells you what the health of the coral is. So nature has invented fluorescence millions of years ago for very specific purposes. And what coral is doing is taking in light and then spitting it out in order to help its own biology. It's using light to photosynthesize, just as a plant does, in order to feed itself.
In 2019, Great Barrier Reef Legacy is super proud to be launching its first interactive and immersive education program that brings together the latest in technology to allow us to shoot the reef in all its glory in 360 virtual reality and bring that direct to the public. We just got out of the water off the Legacy Super Site, and thankfully everything happened at spawn, so we were absolutely surrounded by that classic underwater snowstorm of eggs and sperm bundles. It was everywhere, and you know, to be honest, just to be down there when that's happening, you really stop and think that that is one of nature's finest moments, and so few people around the world must have ever seen that. So what an absolute honour to be down there to be part of the spawning event up here in the far north.
So many going off all around you, you couldn't even tell who was spawning. It was spectacular, 20-foot long colonies going. The coral was just going crazy. It was extraordinary. So lots of data, lots of amazing observations. It was a fabulous night. My lab studies how corals tell time and how they know when to spawn at exactly the right time. So we're here just to gather baseline data on what the many species specific to the northern part of the Barrier Reef are doing.
I think it's important that we make the effort to come up to the far north because it's an area that we don't frequent. It's obviously, you know, from your previous expeditions, we've found that there are a lot of secrets up here that we're unaware of. And I think that it's important that if we're going to do the best we can for the Great Barrier Reef, that we know and understand this environment. It's very easy for people to turn away and say, well, that doesn't impact me, for instance. I think what we need to do is to engage people at every level. This is not something that just impacts scuba divers or reef users. This is of global importance. This is the canary in the coal mine. I've got to say that's one of the best spawning events that I've ever had the privilege to film. Thanks.
Simple things like, well, but do you love the ocean? And well, could you love the ocean with me?
I've been diving now for over 50 years and over 40 years here on the Great Barrier Reef. And I've seen it go from the most vibrant, living dance of life anywhere on the planet to now a struggling, you know, almost a graveyard, but with still some life. And we need to pick up our game across the world on this fossil fuel emissions.
Legacy has been proven now to be an organisation that runs the most effective trip, by far the biggest bang for the buck, and it is an organisation that concerned people can donate to. And we should, hopefully, we should be able to run these sorts of trips repeatedly, not just in the far northern Great Barrier, but all over the Great Barrier Reef, and for all sorts of reasons, but always with the model of having a good mix of people, different scientists and media mixed in with them. It works. We've shown it works.
These are the simple things I want you, love, love, 'cause these are the simple things, my love, my love.